As promised, starting with our top focus at this hour in this special edition. In his third reshuffle since he took office, Prime Minister Modi is expected to induct some new faces into his team. So who could those be and what happens now to the existing ministers? WION breaks it down for you in this detailed report. Take a look.
With an eye on the 2019 general elections, the third cabinet reshuffle could bring the induction of new faces. Names of Bhupender Yadav, Vinay Sahasrabudhe, Satyapal Singh, Anurag Thakur and Prahalad Joshi figures amongst the list of probable ministers. Allies JDU, AIADMK, TDP and Shiv Sena could also be accommodated into the cabinet. Reports say BJP President Amit Shah met with Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday to finalize the changes. Changes to the portfolios of present ministers is also on the cards. India's Defence and Finance Minister Arun Jaitley may retain only one portfolio. Top performers Piyush Goyal and Nitin Gadkari could be elevated. Railways Minister Suresh Prabhu, who offered to resign after a string of train accidents, may be moved to another ministry. Smriti Irani could be asked to give up charge of the Textiles Ministry. This cabinet reshuffle could be the last major rejig of the Council of Ministers before the 2019 polls. But the exercise will be a challenge for Prime Minister Modi, who would need to find the right balance between merit and the demands of politics. Bureau Report, WION.
All right, that does set the tone for what we will be analyzing over the next few minutes as a part of this edition. But first up, listen in to what Union Minister Nitin Gadkari had to say about the reshuffle.
किसको क्या जिम्मेदारी देना ये प्रधानमंत्री का अधिकार है। कल नया ये है मंत्रियों का समावेश है, उसके ऊपर वही निर्णय करेंगे।
All right, let's now take a closer look at some of the leading names on the list of probables. First up is Bhupender Yadav. Who is he? He is a Rajya Sabha MP from Rajasthan and has served as an in-charge for the BJP in UP, Bihar and Gujarat. So he is a strong probable. Lots of speculation rife over what his exact role in the revamped cabinet could be. Next, of course, in the list of probables is BJP's Vice President Vinay Sahasrabudhe, who represents the state of Maharashtra. He is known as a political scholar. He even writes columns for various print publications. But again, what exactly will his role be? Another name cropping up among those highly speculated to be a part of that revamped team Modi is Satyapal Singh. Of course, an MP from Uttar Pradesh's Bhagpat. He has served as the former Mumbai Police Commissioner. After joining the BJP, he has also served as the Vice President of the party's Working Committee for the state of Uttar Pradesh. Anurag Thakur's name is also next up on that list, also figures very prominently among the list of probables. Now, he has been elected, remember, to the parliament 3 times in a row now, and even served as the former president of the BCCI. Next up is Prahalad Joshi, MP from Dharwad and the former president of BJP's Karnataka state unit. He is also strongly speculated to be a contender for the list of probables. Next up, we take you through why a reshuffle makes sense right now. A reshuffle will essentially allow Prime Minister Modi to reduce the workload on some of his ministers and even bring some allies into the cabinet mix. It also gives the Prime Minister a chance to review the performance of his ministers. Removing certain members of the party from the cabinet also makes sense, since they can now be given the duty to laying the groundwork for the 2019 elections. That essentially is in a capsule of why a reshuffle right now and why exactly it makes sense for the party, for the government and for the country. Let's now take you through further analysis with the help of our guest joining us on this special broadcast. Nida Chaudhary, senior journalist, joins us at this point. Appreciate you joining us, ma'am. First up, as we just broke down for our viewers, the various facets, the speculation doing the rounds, what are your thoughts on why a reshuffle really makes sense right now?
I think the reshuffle makes sense because there have been vacancies. You've had Mr. Venkaiah Naidu become the Vice President of India. You had Manor Parrikar move to Goa as Chief Minister earlier this year. And you had, again, Mr. Venkaiah Naidu had several portfolios. So those are vacancies and additional charges that have been given to existing ministers. Then Anil Dave, who was Environment Minister, he passed away. So given that fact that now vacancies had to be filled up, the Prime Minister may make a virtue of necessity and give several signals through the reshuffle in preparation for what would be Project 2019, Mission 350 that Mr. Amit Shah has been speaking about. Now, I think the Prime Minister has already indicated, half a dozen ministers have already put on their papers that he's going to remove dead wood. Some of them may, of course, be used for party work. And there will be new inductees. Given the fact that 6 have gone and there are the vacancies, it's being said that 10 new inductees may come in to the Council of Ministers. And those may be people who have the confidence of the Prime Minister, as well as those who are seen to have done well in party work, shown a certain dynamism in the last months. So I think that is the kind of scenario. Of course, he will keep the compulsions of politics in mind. It will not only be people who he thinks are going to perform, but also the compulsions of caste, the compulsions of the states where elections are being held in the next months. That will be Karnataka, Himachal, Gujarat, and then next year the Hindi heartland states of Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh. So I think all these things will be kept in mind when he undertakes that exercise on Sunday morning.
All right, ma'am, the immediate question also is, as many have been wondering whether or not the allies will get their share, will the Shiv Sena and the JDU be sidelined?
I think, you see, the other thing was that given the fact that the Janata Dal U has joined NDA and there's a government with the BJP in Bihar with Nitish Kumar heading it, the Janata Dal U was expected to join. There was talk about 2 ministers from Janata Dal U, one of them cabinet ranked. The other purpose would have been to widen the NDA. Again, give an impression that we are coming back to power. Regional parties are joining us more and more. And but Mr. Nitish Kumar has made a statement this evening that we don't know anything, we've not been approached. Now that may be a communication gap. Mr. Amit Shah has been away in Vrindavan where the RSS meeting was being held, obviously to consult with the RSS brass. He's back now, so this may get corrected. There was also speculation of some people from Anna DMK joining, but there's too much of a tussle going on between different factions of the Anna DMK, and the party is in a state of flux. So that also is a question mark, whether somebody from that Dravidian party will come in. NCP was, again there was speculation, but I think that may not happen. Shiv Sena and Chandrababu Naidu's party in Andhra Pradesh, which is an ally of the NDA, they've also expressed their unhappiness that they have not been directly informed about the cabinet reshuffle. So I think as far as the allies go, there is a little bit of resentment that has come to the fore today about not being consulted directly.
Right, and in the next few hours, we will know whether or not being approached really has a larger message. As you just pointed out, the words coming in from the leader there, who has categorically stated that he was not approached. What that means, we will know in a few hours from now. But coming also to the aspect of the probables, ma'am, Satyapal Singh, Bhupender Yadav, what according to you is the meaty role that could be accorded to them?
I think since Sanjeev Balyan has exited, put in his papers, Uttar Pradesh is going to be very, very critical. And Mr. Mahendranath Pandey has gone as BJP chief in Uttar Pradesh, you see Uttar Pradesh yielded 71 Lok Sabha seats to the BJP in 2014 election,
yes,
and a whopping victory in the state assembly elections. You see, hypothetically speaking, if you took away, say, if you halved that tally in 2014, the BJP would not have got a majority on its own, and it would have been a very different ball game in Delhi. So I think the party is not going to, sit back as far as Uttar Pradesh is concerned, even though assembly elections are over. Now, it's very interesting, the caste combination that the party has gone in for. Mr. Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister, happens to be a Thakur and upper caste. Mr. Pandey, who will be the BJP chief now in UP, is a Brahmin. So is the party now giving primacy to the upper castes again? The Brahmins were not very happy with the Thakur as Chief Minister, even though Mr. Narendra Modi's focus in the last 3 years has been to woo the backward castes, the extremely backward castes, the Dalits. He is specially concentrated on these communities to come into the BJP fold. So I think that is going to be a tightrope walk, how they manage to balance the caste equations in Uttar Pradesh. As far as the other, Bhupendra Yadav he's worked very, very hard as an organizer, and has proximity to Mr. Amit Shah, is a trusted lieutenant of Mr. Amit Shah, so he is certainly expected to be inducted. And so also people who made a mark, as I said earlier, in party work. There will be people who I think are expecting to be, and there is a buzz that they may be elevated, who performed well in their ministries. Piyush Goyal may be made a full cabinet rank minister, so also Dharmendra Pradhan, in charge of petroleum, may be given full charge. Nirmala Sitharaman as commerce, Jiten Singh. These are names of ministers who have done well and have delivered. So I think they may well be promoted.
Isn't that only one of the tight ropes that the Prime Minister is expected to walk, apart from the one of balancing between the newer faces and the older faces, the young blood versus the ones who have been there for the longest time?
I think that balance, yes, I think he will want to keep. Now, if you look at it effectively, we have 15 months left for elections, because come end of 2018, the countdown will begin. And there are some people who feel they may well advance elections by a few months. I mean, whether that will come to pass or not remains to be seen. But effectively 15 months. So for any new person to come in and get the hang of things, as well as make a mark, is not going to be very easy, and that too in a new ministry. But the Prime Minister, I suspect, will go for people whose work he has seen in party work, who he has a comfort level with, people who can move in step with him, who may not necessarily become, the larger than the ministry itself. And, his style has been to rely very much on dynamic bureaucrats who move in tandem with him and understand the goals he wants to pursue and the areas in which he wants to deliver. Right. And I suspect, the Ganga mission, the Clean Ganga mission, is going to be, it's a project very close to his heart. And the fact that there is talk about Uma Bharti, who was minister, and Sanjeev Balyan, who was MOS, both being out of that ministry, shows that he wants to bring in his people who he has confidence in him, who he has confidence in,
sure,
that they will actually now start to deliver, because that is going to be very critical for him in Uttar Pradesh and even beyond it.
And that is going to be a fine balance that is going to be struck there. We're going to leave it there for the moment. Appreciate you joining us on the broadcast, ma'am. And over the next a few hours, we will, of course, know what the revamped Team Modi is going to be looking like among the various balances that the Prime Minister is expected to strike.